You are listening to the Disney Dream Girls, an unofficial Disney Theme Parks podcast, and this is show number 287 for Sunday the 24th of November 2019.
Where dreams begin.
Well, hello and welcome to this week's Disney Dream Girls. And I don't have Jane with me, but I have two of our very good friends, Kat and Lewis, who are joining me to talk a little bit of Disneyland, California. Hello, my lovelies.
Hey, Michelle, how you going?
G'day, Michelle.
How's life down under?
Hot.
It is wonderful. We're coming into the time of Christmas, and that means very very sweaty temperatures.
It's like picture Orlando, but without all the wonderful attractions and food
And humidity.
It's pretty warm.
Yeah.
I'm sat here in fleece pyjamas and a hoodie.
Oh man.
And I've got a little bit of a cold vibe going on at the moment, so apologies for sounding a little bit bunged up.
Yeah, it's not a fun time over there.
No.
Getting a bit chilly.
But what is Christmas without a little chill in the air and some snowdrops flittering down from the sky?
Exactly. And you get to have Christmas flavoured tea.
Well, actually, the tea I'm drinking at the moment is tea-flavoured tea, but no milk, honey.
Yum.
Oh, I recently found out that I actually like black tea with honey.
And you're so excited.
I was drinking Yorkshire tea, which I think you sent us, and I just went, I might just try some honey with this, and it was really good. So I was like, yeah, black tea and honey, that's me now.
Sorry, what type of tea was that again?
Yorkshire tea.
He goes to theatre as well, the theatre.
Didn't I say Yorkshire the first time?
Right, let's just practice. Now you've got a British passport as well. It's Yorkshire.
Yorkshire.
I don't sound like that at all.
Come on, love. Seriously, if you want me to, put on a British accent and whatnot and say Yorkshire.
But it's definitely not Yorkshire.
Well, it is where I come from, lass.
Anyway, many years ago, I invited the lovely Kat and Lewis to come on the show, and we said we were going to talk a little bit about Disneyland, about Christmas, and squeeze in a little bit of Universal, because I know you guys have been over to Universal at Hollywood. So firstly, for people who are considering going to a Disney park in general over the Christmas period, and I know you've done Shanghai and Paris around that time, would you say it is amazing? And what are the plus sides and what are the negative sides in your point of view?
I guess the big plus for us was that we get a hot Christmas here. So going to Shanghai and going to Paris for Christmas and for New Year's respectively was amazing because we got that really cold weather and we had to rug up and it felt really Christmassy. The decorations are amazing. The theming with all the sounds of Christmas as well was just amazing. I thought that was just such a wonderful contrast to what we get here.
Yeah, because here we're melting. But no, Kat's right. I mean, you always constantly see images of Christmas where it's snow and cold and all those kind of things, where that's not our Christmas here in WA. So it was really nice to go there and actually, experience, because everything, if you go to London, all the Christmas stuff is still up. So it felt Christmassy there. Then we got to Disneyland Paris just before New Year's, and there were kids still singing Christmas carols. So it still felt Christmassy. So I definitely encourage people, go to Disney parks. Not necessarily, you don't need to go there on Christmas Day, but when they're still got the Christmas decorations up, go and enjoy it, because it does extend that Christmas period and it's really nice.
Okay, so what would you imagine the negative sides of going at this seasonal time would be?
Probably the crowds, and also for someone that's not used to dealing with the cold, the stark reality that if I get cold, I just want to shut down and sleep. That's my reaction. I found it really hard staying out, particularly on New Year's Eve in Paris. I found it really hard staying out. So I think we had to call it quits before it actually got to the new year. And we went back to our room to watch the fireworks because I was just too cold.
Yeah.
The crowds were pretty full on, but I must say not unbearable, just fairly crowded.
No, there was a lot of people there, and you got to be aware of that. And I wouldn't suggest it for your first Disney trip to go during the holiday season. It's more of a seasoned professional kind of a Disney trip, I think.
That's a very good point. I know myself, coming from a cooler climate like the UK over to California, the first year I went, I took shorts and t-shirts for every day. And I made a massive mistake because I thought it'd be glorious and sunny every day throughout the December period. But in the morning, there's quite a chill in the air. And on an evening, the temperature does drop quite low. So whilst during the day I was happy in my shorts and t-shirts, whereas locals tended to wear jumpers and jeans, but on a night I literally froze. It was so cold. I had to go one year, I remember buying a gilet to go over my coat just to get that extra layer of insulation, and I found myself leaving the park early a few times because it just got so cold. So I think, yes, it's beautiful, you've got to consider the weather, but also take on board that just because you go into a warmer climate, like in my case the United States, that you can get colder weather.
Definitely, and I hear that even Orlando can get quite chilly, especially in that evening period.
Yeah.
We were there in February in Orlando, and there was one night that we were out on the Poly Beach to watch the fireworks, and I was freezing.
You were.
Yeah. So it can get cold. Temperatures in Los Angeles in December are between 65 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 18 to 21 degrees Celsius, which is not hot temperatures. I mean, that's pretty much similar to our winter temperatures here. And it does get chilly at night. And if you get a bit of a wind up and you get a wind chill factor, then it's even worse. So yeah, you definitely, if you're going to be going there, you want to be taking some jeans and some jumpers or at least hoodies and stuff like that to make sure you stay warm at night.
My lovely friend Anthony Markham has done a little bit of Disney enabling for me. He has bought me, and he's shipping over, the Disneyland Spirit jersey for Christmas.
Oh, neat.
So I get to wear it before I go, and then I'll get to wear it when I'm there.
That is really cool. And, well, really warm as well.
I'm hoping so, because I ordered a bigger size than I normally would. The Snow White one I got an extra small, and I've ordered a medium in this one, so I'm hoping I can wear it over a couple of layers.
Yeah, you'll be good.
So that's the climate to consider when you're visiting a Disney park over at the Christmas time. And Lewis hit on that fact that it is a time of year where if you're wanting to hit every single attraction in the park, you're going to struggle because the queues can be a little bit mental.
Yeah, exactly. And like, just got to do some planning and make sure if there's fast passes available that you're using the fast passes to get onto the attractions, or if you're in Disneyland Paris, making sure that you rope drop Crush's Coaster to make sure you get on it. So yeah, it's just all about the planning side of things, I think, and probably having like realistic expectations that you might not get onto everything.
I think for me personally, for this upcoming trip, I'm considering the $15 a day investment on Max Pass, because I think without that, I will struggle to get through everything I want to do.
That's probably money well spent. I mean, we really enjoyed having access to that on our last trip to Disneyland. It just made it so much easier, and being able to do it in-app, that was a real advantage.
Saves on a lot of shoe leather.
Yes, it does. And blisters.
Yeah.
True.
Because the first time we went to Disneyland, and it was the old, the old system of getting fast passes, you were like tracking back and forth between the two parks and doing a lot more walking, and I think you kind of destroyed your feet on that first trip, which was not pleasant.
Oh yeah, I wore the wrong kind of shoes and everything like that. It was our first experience in the US in the Disney park, so. Yeah, it was different, but the $15 a day investment, I think, is well worth it.
Definitely.
Especially if it's going to be a busy time of year.
I'm still sitting on the fence whether I go down the route of getting tickets or an annual pass, because I am going back next July, and I'm kind of at that break-even point, and I'm sort of thinking, oh, do I, don't I? So it's a bit of a tricky one for me. It's a big chunk of money to invest in December, $1,600 to get that top level Disneyland annual pass.
That's very true.
So how many days are you going to be there in December?
I fly out on the 24th of December, so really technically that evening I won't be going in the park. Although technically I could, it depends on whether I go for the last sort of hour or so. We'll see. Then I fly back on the 2nd of January, so I could go in the park in the morning.
And then you've got to think about like the discounts that you get as well.
True. That's going to really save some money.
And in California, you even get a discount on your Starbucks.
Like a bit of Starbucks discount.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't quite fathomed out which way I'll go from the hotel to get into the park, whether I could go round the long way, so I walk through downtown Disney before going into the park. I haven't planned that out yet because the hotel's down by the convention centre.
Right, okay.
So I'll be definitely getting in the steps.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Yeah, that's for sure. And then you can eat some more holiday treats.
And talking of holiday treats, it just so happens to coincide with the Festival of the Holidays and the delicious offerings in the booths there. And Tom and I did this when we went in 2017. But to be honest, we didn't spend a lot of time trying out the foods, and I can't quite recall why. Maybe it was because we didn't have a lot of time actually dedicated to eating and drinking, because it was Tom's first trip to California and he wanted to go on ride after ride after ride after ride. So, you know, for me, I'd like to spend a little bit more time going around in a group with some friends, sampling all sorts of yummies. Obviously, the top of my list, the friends I'd love to have with me, would be you guys.
No, we'd love to be there. But Lewis changed job.
Could we go virtually together?
I think that sounds like a smashing idea.
So, where are you taking me first? What should we have to start with?
Well, do you know what? Because I am ultimately a bit of a savoury freak and I love me some mac and cheese. I would love to start at favourite things and have the holiday stuffing mac and cheese. That just sounds amazing. It's going to combine so many things that I just love. I love me some stuffing, love me some mac and cheese, and I think in that colder weather it'd just be so warming and delicious.
Now that brings me to a weird thing, and I've never publicly said this on the podcast, so bear with me, guys.
Okay.
I don't like American mac and cheese.
No.
I know.
Hey.
I've never tried one I've liked.
Oh, wow. I just feel like, I don't know.
But maybe I should try that and somehow, by the powers of Facebook live magic, involve you with the eating of it.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. We can eat some stuffing from the turkey and compare notes.
Yeah. Although I'll have to get my head round what time zone will be on between the two of us.
That's true. We'll work it out one way or another. I think it's like 15 hours or something ridiculous like that.
Oh, Lord, that's too much maths for this time of the morning.
We'll work it out one way or another. What's been catching your eye?
What? Were you talking to me? Sorry, I was just looking at all the food. There's just so much stuff to choose from here. It's such a big decision about what to eat first. Although the Merry Mashups has got the turkey and stuffing tamale with cranberry relish, which sounds very nice.
That does sound nice.
And they've also got a churro Yule log as well. So that's main course and dessert right there.
I wondered how long it was going to take you to get to that churro.
Or entree and main course, as the Americans would say. Entree and dessert, as the Americans would say.
Well, I've been actually looking at the alcoholic beverages because I know that, Lewis, you like your girly drinks. Let's be honest.
Maybe.
he has a thing about having all of his lovely cocktails, and I remember being on the cruise and you sort of managed to get through a fair few of the different drinks, which for me, I'm not a big cocktail fan, but I found one that I possibly thought that you would like, and it's a bourbon cranberry cocktail.
Bourbon cranberry cocktail?
Yeah.
What is it? Is it bourbon or bourbon?
Well, I say bourbon as in bourbon biscuit, but you'd probably say bourbon.
Bourbon. So it's bourbon as in the
bourbon is in the beverage.
Right,
Yeah.
Okay. You're telling me how to pronounce Yorkshire. You say bourbon. Yeah, no, that sounds very nice. Yeah, there's a drink there that's non-alcoholic that I found quite interesting as well. Holiday Duets, which is the churro toffee cold brew. Sounds very, very nice.
Hang on a minute. You've just chosen 2 drinks with churro in it.
No, I don't think the other one's a churro. I think the other one's a dessert. So that was the churro Yule log, which is a food, and then I'd wash that down with the churro toffee cold brew. But then I'd also want to have the gingerbread Mickey cookies as well.
Oh, my word. The gingerbread cookies in Disneyland are amazing.
Yeah, what's it? Glazed ham shanks as well with honey crumble. There's too much good food here. This is ludicrous. There shouldn't be this, like, when we were there at Food and Wine, you were kind of like just trying to decide what to get, whereas here it's kind of like there's too much choice.
So that's why you need to go with a group and just eat through everything.
Shrimp and grits. Like, I've only just discovered shrimp and grits this year when we were in New Orleans, but it's very, very nice. So if you haven't had shrimp and grits, I would recommend checking that one out as well.
I'm going to be going to Winter Sliderland.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be having the fried turkey slider.
Oh, wow. Yum.
Because it's Christmas. You can't have Christmas without turkey.
Agreed. That sounds really good. Just needs a little bit of camembert cheese in there with that cranberry sauce as well.
Oh. I must admit, though, when I've been looking through this, the choice of all the different places, there isn't a great deal here. It's quite a small little festival, so it doesn't seem overwhelming. Do you know what I mean? With the other ones that you have over at Epcot, there's just so many things.
Yeah, I agree completely. I think that, when you get to the Garden Grill, they've definitely got some more options there. So I think if you walked in there, I'd be like, oh, what will I have? But generally speaking, it looks like it's fairly straightforward. Like I could probably do this festival in a day at a push, but definitely 2 days I could probably get all the things I wanted to try.
I love that the grandma's recipes. Her recipe is shepherd's upside down pie, which is plant-based. They've never met my grandma. Because she would never have made anything plant-based.
No. And given that your grandfather used to say, if you're like, what's for lunch, he'd be like, tiger. We don't have tigers in Australia. It's fine.
It was never tiger. It was always he was convincing me to eat something I probably wouldn't eat if he told me what it actually was. So I was probably saying more awfully than anything else.
Like beef tongue or something.
Exactly, yeah. But, so that grandma's recipes, apparently someone's grandma was very progressive making shepherd's upside down pie, which is plant-based, and curried cauliflower and chicken, which is more likely what my grandma would have made.
To be honest, the cauliflower offerings that they've got absolutely just are grabbing me at the moment. I love cauliflower. It is one of my favourite vegetables. So that's got to be a one for me to try. But I was wondering, you guys have used the Sip and Savour card when you've been at the other food festival that happens in DCA. Can you explain what it is? Because I've never used one.
First top tip for using the Sip and Savour card is don't break off the tabs. Let either the people at the counter break the tab off for you or break it off at the counter. I ran into a bit of trouble with that. So basically you buy a lanyard, and on that lanyard were 2 tabs, like plastic sort of, I don't know how big they would be. They were probably like half A5.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, they were quite substantial, but not tiny, not like your usual sort of card size lanyard. And so one had the menus and things on it, and the other one had these break off tabs around the edge. And with each of those break off tabs, you could get a menu item or a drink item. Am I correct in saying that, Lou?
I can't recall if it was drinks or not. Definitely the menu item, I think. Maybe non-alcoholic drinks, possibly.
And so you basically are pre-purchasing the food that you're going to eat as you make your way around the festival.
So you kind of got a slight discount. And I remember if you had a annual pass, you'd get an annual pass discount as well.
That's true. That is very true. So we took advantage of that. So yeah, the thing was that I had, I think, 2 tabs left on my lanyard at the end, and so no, you had 2 on yours, and so you gave me 1 tab, and I went off to go grab a dish, and then Lewis went off with his lanyard, and the lady got a bit cranky with me and wouldn't accept it, so I just paid cash. That was fine, and then pretended to break it off a lanyard later because I didn't realize that that was an issue. But overall, it made it fairly cost effective, I think, was probably the main feature of it. But at the same time, there was a lot of, I think there were 10 tabs on each lanyard, weren't there?
I can't remember. I think it was 8. I think there might have been like 16 in total.
You're full of the facts today.
And it's about $50 odd, a little bit cheaper if you've got an AP.
Yep, correct.
Okay, let's just step away from the Festival of Holidays festival. You guys have been to Disneyland a lot more recently than I have. I've not seen the whole new reimagined Paradise Pier area, which is now Pixar Pier. What should I be looking out for in that part of the park? Because I know I made Lewis go on the reimagined carousel. Should I do that?
Oh, it's okay, but it's just a carousel at the end of the day. It's like there's no massive thrills to it, or like it's just it is what it is. The Inside Out Emotional Whirl, I think it's called, that should be up and running by now. But that was just a reskinning of the Flix Flyers, I think, which was over in the Bugs Life area. Definitely getting onto the Incredicoaster is paramount. I mean, that is the big ticket item that's in that area. And going to Lamplight Lounge and having a couple of cocktails, I'd say that would be worthwhile.
Oh, just even chilling out in the Lamplight Lounge for a little while. I think that is just a wonderful area to be in amongst everything and have a great view of all the attractions that are around, but being able to like put your feet up.
Yeah, and only as far as the adorable snowman snow cone goes, only get one if the line is short. I wouldn't line up for a long time to get one of those.
Okay, I think I will have to line up for a long time because I've heard how amazing it is. But
Yeah.
the Lamplight Lounge, I know my friend Wendy, who I'm going to be spending a big chunk of my time with, has said it is a must-do place for us to go. And they do
Excellent.
have some really nice little snacky things on the menu.
Yeah, they do. I think we had something that was a bit average. Was that the lobster nachos? I think we thought that was a bit not the best. It wasn't, inedible, but it wasn't the best. But everything else that we've had in there has been amazing. And definitely those little snacky things were definitely really good.
I had the lobster nachos before when it used to be the previous incarnation, and they were good. So I don't know if the menu slightly changed a little bit, but I will give them a go.
Yeah, I mean, you got to try everything once, right?
Absolutely.
Have you been on the Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout?
I have. And even not being a fan of the movie, the attraction is really good. It's a really good reimagining of Tower of Terror, which is one of my favourite attractions.
Yeah, no, it's great. So yeah, if you definitely go and do that a few times, so it's really good. The Star Tours isn't there. That's over in the Disneyland park and that particular resort. What else is there in obviously like going through the Cars area and seeing all the Christmas decorations, because should be all decked out for Christmas, I'd imagine.
Oh yeah, that'd be lovely to see at that time of year.
Yeah.
Oh, the Christmas theming is just amazing.
I really do want to get over there at Christmas one year. What was over across from the pier? There was there's an attraction. Is it a drop attraction is it the parachutes?
It used to be the parachutes, but now it's something else.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is now. That was kind of fun to do, just to get that view.
And doing the
Zephyr.
The Zephyr's good, but doing the fun wheel, I was thinking,
Oh yeah.
Have you done the fun wheel with the sliding cabins?
You're cruel.
It's great. It's really good.
I even survived it.
We did it twice.
I did it with Kieran on a trip that I did with him, and I literally had my fingers clung to the metal railings on the side as he swung the little carriage forward as back, and I hated it.
Oh, no.
But it's like everything. You try it, and if you don't like it, you don't like. I do have a thing with heights. So
Yeah, I'm not that fond of heights, and that whole like free moving thing that you get with the sliding carriage is a bit confrontational.
Yeah. But it has been changed over and rethemed since I last went, so maybe, I know the basis of the attraction hasn't changed, it's just the theme, but maybe I need to revisit it and go on it again and try and get better at overcoming my fears.
And you can go on a stationary one anyway as well, because the stationary one's not going to move.
True. I have done both options, so yeah, okay. I haven't done the Incredicoaster either, or had a Num Num cookie.
Cookie Num Nums are the best. I'd recommend going on the Incredicoaster and getting that smell in the attraction and then getting off and having a cookie because you'll crave one afterwards.
Yeah, it's really good marketing. It's like, and they've got the Cookie Num Nums just as you get off the ride as well. So you smell them in the ride and smell them when you get off the ride, and you just go, I've got to have one of those Cookie Num Nums, and you just grab it. It's great.
Oh, sounds amazing. So let's hop over to Disneyland itself and think about, is there anything new there that I've not experienced that you guys did on your trip this year? I'm not sure.
Well, we haven't experienced the big thing that's there, which is Galaxy's Edge, but you can experience Galaxy's Edge because it'll be open when you're there.
Well, should I though? Am I being
Yes.
a bad wife? Because
No.
Tom and I are going next year in the summer together. Should I go and wait to experience it with him? Or should I go and do a research trip to ensure he gets the best out of it next year?
Well, see, here's the thing. Lewis is like, hands down, Michelle should go. That's his thing. But let's put the shoe on the other foot. I should get the analogies right. If I was heading to California for, say, like a work trip or something like that, and I had a free day to fill in, and I went, I might go to Disneyland, and I'm like, do I go to Galaxy's Edge or not? What would your response be, Lewis?
Hey? Well, my response would be,
Hey?
I really don't care. Like, you're there, I'm not. You go ahead and do it, and I'll do it some other time. I mean,
Really?
the idea of, like, saying to someone you can't, it's like people who like reserve movies. Like, you got a friend and say, you can't see this movie until I go and see this movie with you. It's kind of like, well, no, I want to go and see this movie, and I'm at a movie theater, so I'm going to see that one. So it's the same thing with this. It's like, go and do it. And the thing is as well, with theme parks, the attractions, you can't always guarantee they're going to be open. So if you're there, go and do it, because the next time you're there, you might not have the opportunity because it's down for being maintained or something like that. So, go, you're paying a lot of money to be there. Go and enjoy the park to its fullest. And then when you go back with Tom, it'll be easier for you because you'll know the tips and tricks, and you'll be able to have a much more, efficiently enjoyable time next time you go there. So it's definitely like, you can't like not do something because somebody else isn't there, because it's, you got to live for the now.
There you go. It's been authorized by a husband.
If you send me your documentation, I'll stamp it for you.
Okay. Tom, I hope you heard that. I'm only doing it because Lewis told me to.
And besides, I told him before that when you go to Disney World to do the Void, and he didn't do it. So he's not that big a Star Wars fan, quite frankly.
Ooh.
I leave on the 2nd of January. The Rise of the Resistance is meant to open just a few short days after I leave. Should I be hoping there might be some sort of sneaky shell-in opportunities?
Well, when the Iron Man experience was due to open in Hong Kong Disneyland, we were given the opportunity to actually get on there early. They had previews. So even though it wasn't due to open until I can't remember how long after we were
It's like
there.
mid-January or something.
Yeah, and we were there around New Year, and they were doing previews. And initially it was just for hotel guests, but later in the afternoons they were opening it up to the general public. I'm guessing that maybe that won't be the case for Star Wars, because they did quite a big, solid, this is the opening date and that's it. But there is the possibility that they might want to run some people through.
Yeah, I mean, there's always a chance of a soft opening.
And you've got to just consider the fact that a lot of their annual pass holders will be on blockouts over the Christmas period. So they might be sort of thinking, we'll just get some normal guests through. I don't know. I'm clutching at straws.
They might also hear that you're in the park and think, well, I think we should open it up early. Just have Michelle just try it out. Yes, exactly.
Because I'm so on Disney's radar.
Yeah.
We'll see.
But, it's just one of those things that it might happen, and how cool would it be if it does happen, because there's just a few days and maybe things will go smashingly ahead because they're opening it in Orlando in December, did you say? So maybe things will go smashingly over there and they'll be ready to open it up in California maybe just a little bit earlier.
But it doesn't really matter because you're going to be there later in the year anyway. And, so regardless, you'll be riding the ride in the very near future.
True.
So true.
True, you're right. So, guys, just thinking about what you would do if you were there Christmas Day, what would your plan be? Where would you eat? What would you ride? How would you plan it out?
Oh, wow. Assuming it was my first trip there and I hadn't had the chance to experience Galaxy's Edge first, I think that would be my priority. If I was to go there this Christmas, I'd definitely be breakfasting on a bit of Ronto wrap. Thank you very much.
Washing it down with some blue milk?
Possibly. And I think that would be a bit of a priority ahead of all the Christmas stuff. Outside of that, I think it'd just be about trying all the different Christmas treats in between going on attractions. I don't know to what degree things get themed, but I'm imagining It's a Small World gets a bit of a Christmas theming.
They slightly go OTT with the glitter and lights, I must admit.
Nice.
The rides I would guarantee I'd have to do is the Haunted Mansion because of the Nightmare Before Christmas overlay.
Yes, of course.
Small World because, again, you got the bit of an overlay there. The Jingle Cruise would be definitely have to happen.
Yes.
So I would do all the rides that have overlays. I would book ourselves in somewhere nice to have a dinner or a lunch, like a really lazy one as well, not get eaten too quickly, but find somewhere for a nice lunch. But I don't think I'd be forcing myself too much to get onto too many attractions or anything like that. I think I'd do it really casual and just enjoy the day.
Do they do anything special for World of Colour over the holiday season?
Yeah, there's a special Christmas version, and I'm torn over that one because I don't know whether to invest in the dessert party, because the dessert party is nigh on $100. You cannot. That does offer you a seat to see it, and it is an amazing view. But I don't know whether to do that route or to do the route of getting a lunch or dinner that comes with a signed fast pass area, or just think, do you know what? I can get a fast pass. Poof.
There's so many options, and it's going to be a hard decision. I think given the fact that you're going to be eating lunch anyway, if it came down to the money factor, I'd probably go that option. But I must say that dessert party that we did for World of Colour was just outstanding. I was really surprised. They had some good options. It wasn't just purely there were a couple of savoury options on the plate as well, weren't there? Mm-hmm. And it was just such a great view. It was wonderful being able to see it from those seats. There was no way that anyone was going to block your view, and it was money well spent in my opinion. But otherwise, I probably would have looked to have done one of the dining options, so having maybe a lunch somewhere.
Okay. I'm still torn. I still haven't made my mind up. I'll have to obviously speak with Wendy, who's going to be there with me, to see her thoughts on it. With her being a fairly local person, I'm not kind of sure whether that's such a priority for her, because she can dip in and see it whenever she wishes.
That's true. That is very true. But maybe the fast pass option is worth considering as well.
And then I'll have more money to spend on merchandise.
Precisely. Or tasty treats.
Ooh, tasty treats. You guys like getting up early and going into the park, though, so you're of one mind with myself, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. We love a good rope drop.
So I think I'll be at the line to get in for around about 7 a.m. on Christmas morning.
Oh, I think you'd have to, because the crowds are quite full on, aren't they, in California?
They can be. What I tended to notice over the Christmas times I've been before, up to about 10 o'clock was really fairly quiet. And then if you tried to get into the park after, say, 9:30, 10 o'clock, the queues to get through bag check were ridiculous. So it's just going to have to be, if I want to go to the park, I will have to get there as early as I can. And then if I need a nap, I can find a nice sleepy attraction to go and nap in.
It's a small nap after all.
Well, I was thinking of Greatest Naps with Mr. Lincoln, really.
Lovely.
Yeah, as if that'll be running.
Is that shut down permanently?
It's never, every time we're there, like, if, as long as we remember to go and see it, it's never open.
Oh.
It's like, yeah, I've yet to see it.
Oh. And then another possibility I could do for the day is the Christmas tour.
That sounds like a good idea. Do that.
I was going to ask what the Christmas tour actually entails.
It's about a 2.5-hour tour where they take you around and detail some of the Christmas decorations. So you get to have a look at them in depth and from an Imagineer's point of view of the process behind and the thought and the story that they tell. When I've done it before, you've gone over to DCA and had a little sweet treat in DCA and looked at the trees over there. However, I do gather it's now predominantly just Disneyland that they do. It used to offer 2 attraction rides, so going on Haunted Mansion and It's a Small World. And then,
bit of a queue jump.
Yeah. And then for the parade, you get seating, a hot chocolate in a reusable mug, and a gingerbread cookie.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So,
Getting parade seating would be pretty good, but what price point are we looking at?
It's just under $100, but you do get discount if you've got an annual pass. In my mind, for Christmas Day, they offer 2 tours. One of them views the 3 o'clock-ish parade, and the other one the 6 o'clock-ish parade.
So it'd be, if you did the 6 o'clock one, that might be quite good, which is, I'd imagine the evening parade would be the more popular one to see. So having reserved seating would be a bit of a premium.
Yeah, the viewing point is opposite It's a Small World. So when I've done it before, the sun is behind you and it's nice and light. But bear in mind, come 6 o'clock, it's getting towards being dark. It's dusk.
That's very true.
So I'm kind of torn over the time. I suppose it's down to whether I can get a place on the tour, because when the time opens for me to ring, I'm at work. So I'll just have to see if I can get in on that. You also get a little memento of a badge with your name on it, and also a Christmas button as well, a proper pin.
Oh, that's kind of cute.
So I'm kind of thinking that'll be a lovely way to sort of splurge on Christmas Day, to have the morning there on my own with Wendy doing the things we want to do, such as a Mickey waffle for breakfast and getting a candy cane, and then go and do the tour.
That'd be a kind of good way to wrap up your day, or the afternoon anyway. And probably if you're looking at doing one thing or the other, that would probably be money better spent than doing the dessert party over at DCA.
That's what I'm thinking. A lovely experience that we'll remember, makes Christmas a nice present, and then obviously I'll be hightailing it over to the castle for the snowfall.
For sure. Gingerbread Snoop.
Oh, can't beat it. I'm probably also thinking away from Disney, going to tour the Queen Mary.
Ooh, sounds like a nice thing to do now that you're a cruising aficionado.
Something like that. And obviously I'd like to try and get over to Universal Studios because I've never been to Hollywood.
That would be cool because the view from up there is really cool, but also you get to go and do some of the Harry Potter stuff, I believe, now.
And Harry Potter is very Christmassy.
It is.
Well, Harry Potter is just everything, isn't it? Because I am a bit of a Potter fan.
Oh, then how could you not do it? You have to. That's settled.
Yeah. And then the next big dilemma is what to do on New Year's Eve.
That's true. Would you be inclined to maybe spend it in the parks, or would you do it outside of the parks?
I've done both parks, and Disneyland I've done twice, and I found it to be awful. It was so crammed and busy, you couldn't move. I did DCA one year, which was a lot quieter. And then I've done one year where I've just sort of mulled around the Esplanade, having been out for the day somewhere else with friends. So I'm not sure as yet. We might try and look at one of the buffet style options, maybe Storytellers Cafe, and have a leisurely see how long they can allow us to stay in the buffet thing.
Nice. Yeah, and just sort of chill out and relax, because sometimes it's nice to do that when you're on holiday.
It is, because I've got to remember it is a holiday and not just a typical Disney holiday where it's I need a holiday when I get back.
Yeah. You got to fit in some relaxing times as well.
Hope so. And I'm hoping on one particular day I'm going to get the opportunity to meet up some lovely friends. Anyone who's in the area can pop by and say hi to me.
That would be amazing. And then you can just hang out with them. And, well, are you thinking of doing that over the Christmassy bit or over the New Year bit?
Probably before New Year, because I think a Sunday would be a better option because of people's work commitments, etc.
Yeah, that'll be good. Nice way to spend your time.
Yeah, and I can't obviously ask people to go into the parks because not everyone has got theme park access on that 2-week block out.
Yeah, but you can't always be in the parks, I guess, and sometimes it's nice to do things around the parks or all around LA. There's so many things on offer in that crazy little city.
No, it's a lot to do.
And one of them is going to be going to eat an In-N-Out burger.
Has to be done.
And then another is going to seize candy and buy my body weight in delicious chocolate.
That place is crazy. I mean, I've got a friend that owns a chocolate shop, and this was just like her chocolate shop on steroids.
Yeah, it's amazing. Oh, guys, I really wish one year we're going to have to sit down and we are going to have to plan the ultimate Disney Christmas trip together.
Oh, absolutely. What would you do? I think I'd probably try and do both coasts. So maybe do Christmas in one and then New Year's in the other.
You crazy woman, you.
I am. I if you're going to do it properly, right?
And it'd have to be Walt Disney World for New Year. I'm sorry. It just would.
Yeah, I'd imagine that there'd be so many different options of what you could do at that time of year in Walt Disney World.
Yeah, absolutely. And Christmas in Disneyland, get in there a couple of days before so you can meet Santa.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because I'd imagine like Santa would be at his happiest and jolliest in Disneyland.
Yeah, I don't get to meet him this year because he's obviously busy on the 25th recovering from his labours of the night before.
Yeah, tough day for him. I think he'd want to be putting his feet up and having a nice cup of tea.
Yeah. And talking of having a nice cup of tea, I think that's what I'm going to go off and do right now. So, Kat, Lewis, I would like to thank you so much for chatting Disneyland with me. Now, we all love your little old show, but you don't just do one. You have a plethora of podcasts. So
we do.
Shout yourselves out.
Somehow our crazy little Diz Down Under turned into a, as you say, plethora of podcasts, and you can catch them all by going to thegentlemanofpopculture.com. In short, we've got Unscripted, the film show, which has been around for many, many years. Lewis, you've been doing that radio show for something like 25 years?
No, I think it's just over 20 years.
Just over 20 years?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, got that figure wrong. So that's been around for a very long time and is now available in podcast form. There's also Tangent City, which is basically an anything goes pop culture podcast. And there's also Wascast, the podcast, which I'm probably due to get an episode out of, but I haven't edited it. So that one comes out every now and again and is largely whiskey based.
I do notice that you have been sneaking in some snacks, though, lovely.
Me? Snacks? I couldn't imagine.
Yes, you are. And I love it.
Awesome.
Right, my lovelies, until next time, it is a goodbye from me.
And goodbye from us.
Bye.